We are Kyla and Louie, and we are DIY building our house on the back of a 1988 Unimog, showing you everything that we do. What could go wrong, right? The goal is simple: build our dream house doing as much of it ourselves as we can, meet some awesome people on the way, and have a lifetime full of adventures. So join us for it. It's going to be out the gate. Kia ora from New Zealand. This is going to be our second video we have ever made for YouTube, and the first video on the build, so we're going to be going through how we created our box. So stay tuned for that. After we took the truck home, Louie got straight into undoing all the canopy, and we actually found someone in Auckland who's going to be driving down on Matariki weekends to collect the canopy. So that's really cool that we could rehome it to someone that wants it and will love it. Louie reckons it was pretty straightforward, but his mind works in crazy ways, so I'm sure I couldn't figure out how to do it. But he managed to do it all by himself, and with a little bit of help from the tractor to get it off. As they are made of metal, so they were quite heavy, but luckily we brought in the reinforcements. Once Louie got the canopy off, we couldn't get started on the box just yet as our wall panels had not arrived. So Louie got fancy at the bottom of the truck and did a little jig around of all the compartments and boxes for storage underneath. What Louie is actually doing here is he is moving the battery box forward. To do that, he had to also move the air reservoir tank forward as well. So we moved both of those things forward, which means we can add in another storage box, or we're thinking another water tank to store some more water. We are actually so lucky, or I guess we are organised in the sense that Louie is a builder, so he already had all of these tools ready to go, which means that doing these things that we are doing, like drilling holes in metal and whatnot, we can actually do it, which is such a luxury. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Louie, and he's going to let you know what he actually did in terms of moving everything around.
Nothing glamorous today, just removed the old boxes to make way for the new ones. Same on this side, just removed the cage and moved the battery box forward and the air reservoir. It's tucked up there real nice.
And just like that, our panels were ready to be collected. We opted for fiberglass on the outside, as it was lightweight but yet strong, and dense foam on the inside. Now, depending on if it was a wall panel or a roof panel, depended on how thick the foam was, as we wanted the roof panel to be a little bit thicker so that we could stand on it, as we're going to have a little bit of a skylight or a window on the top, and in case we needed to sort anything out with the solar panels that are going to be up there. Now that we have all the panels sorted, we could start thinking about the infrastructure and the engineering that we're going to need for the frame so that the panels can be held in place. So I'm so grateful that someone reached out to us on Instagram, and we managed to find a local welder. The company is called The Welder, and he's a local guy from Christchurch. His name's Brian, and his lovely wife Jolene sounded even just as excited as we were. So it was really cool to meet up with these people. He managed to do an amazing job on our box frame, and he even let us video some of the process of him actually in action welding the box. So it was really cool just to be a part of that experience. It made us feel like we were even more involved in this DIY box build than what we anticipated. We knew that we couldn't really do the welding, so it was just cool that we could see it and it be done by such awesome people. Brian actually managed to get this box frame welded in, I think it was like 2 or 3 nights. He did a couple of overnighters. He managed to get it done so fast, which is awesome, and it meant that we could continue on building the box as fast as we could as well. When Brian finished the box frame and it was complete, and we got to go to the workshop, we got to see him do some welding, and then Louis backed the truck out from the workshop, that was kind of the moment that we were like, okay, this is actually going to be a house. This is how big of the box that we're going to be living in. And it was just a really cool feeling. It made us so motivated to get building. I know Louis already was anyway. But yeah, it just put things into perspective of what the frame is actually going to look like, what the box is going to look like, how big the box is, and what we're going to be living in for maybe the rest of our lives. Boom, straight into the next morning, Louis was cutting the panels. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously we had to do work and things and all that, so I'm not sure how long it was until we actually got to start cutting the panels, but you just know that when Louis got the spare time, he was straight into it. Louis cut the panels using his new Makita plunge saw and learned that when you cut the fiberglass, it spits out into your skin, and it's really, really itchy. Once Louis had cut all the panels, it was time to bring in some reinforcements, and we brought in his sister and her partner and their 2 kids. So we ended up using all of the adults in the vicinity to help lift the panels up. Even though they were made out of fiberglass and they were relatively light, they were big, they were bulky, they were hard to move, and it would have been very awkward if it was just Louis and I. Dare I say near impossible, but my ego does not want to. So previously to the wall panels, we put the roof panel up, and we have just used some clamps to make sure the glue sets properly. From there we could put the wall panels in, and once we put the wall panels in, again we'll glue it and we'll clamp it, and we have to wait 24 hours for the glue to dry, or 24 to 48 hours, so longer than 24 hours. So that was kind of what was the big hold up. We'd put a wall in, we'd have to wait 24 to 48 hours, we'd put another wall in. So this, putting the wall and the roof panels in, took approximately 3 to 4 days, over a whole weekend. It was definitely a challenge. Communicational challenge. For me, my brain doesn't really work like this, and I couldn't really figure out how we were going to put it in, what's going on, and so therefore it was quite frustrating for Louis, who kind of saw exactly how it was meant to work, and he was trying to explain or tell us what to do, and it was very challenging, but we got there in the end. It was a beautiful day, so that's definitely a plus, and I got to hang out with his family, so that's cool too. Once we got the 2 walls up, Louis got out his glue gun, and we ended up using about 12 tubes of Sika 11FC adhesive, so it was a lot of glue. Louis was definitely getting a finger pump by the end of the weekend, that's for sure. Anyway team, that is I guess episode 1 of the truck build. Next episode you're going to be seeing us cut some holes into our box, and then from there we can start the carpentry on the inside. Thank you so much for following Out the Gate Off-Road's journey so far. A little bit of background noise while you're at work or at home on the TV. Make sure you follow us on Instagram or subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see the next episode coming up soon. Bye!